Welcome to Repertoire Wednesday with my dad, Dr. Joe Tranquilla.
Thanks, Everett. Today we're going to take a look at I Carry Your Heart, and I'm joined by the composer himself, Scott Reimer, to discuss the music. Scott is a versatile musician. He's a conductor, he is a singer, he is obviously a composer. He sung with the National Youth Choir, the World Youth Choir, other international initiatives, and he's also heavily involved with the professional choral scene in his hometown of Winnipeg, where he is the assistant conductor of Polycoro and Canzona, as well as singing with various other ensembles and conducting other groups and working at a church as well. Welcome, Scott, and thank you so much for joining us for Repertoire Wednesday.
Thanks for having me. This is such a joy.
I Carry Your Heart is maybe fitting. It's springtime, love is in the air, so it's a great piece to feature, but it's also a piece that I've wanted to make sure that we highlight because the Canadian Chamber Choir was supposed to program this piece on its March 2020 concert tour in the Maritimes, and of course that tour was not to be. Can you tell us a bit about this piece and maybe why the text is kind of particularly meaningful to you?
It's a love letter, in a sense, just like the poem is a love letter that Cummings wrote. One of those times where I heard a version of it and I was reminded of the poem and then just thought, you know what, I should really go for it. See what I can do with this particular poem. And when I wrote this piece, at that point, you know, I was starting to look toward engagement with my, at the time, girlfriend. And so I wrote it, you know, with her in mind. It was for her.
On your master's recital at the University of Manitoba, you had fellow students and probably other sort of choral professionals in the area who joined you, and so this piece was on that program. Am I right?
Yeah, it was actually it was the one piece that I had composed that I included on the program.
One moment that I sort of came to right away was at rehearsal D, and it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and it's you are whatever a sun will always sing. It's one of several sort of peaks, I would say, in this piece. But then you mentioned that it sort of is when you contextualize some of these moments, it really does tell that love story where it's really about the sort of ebb and flow and the up and down, and throughout this 7-minute piece and the way that the text is set, there's really so many opportunities for those ups and downs. What are some of your favorite moments in this piece?
For me, it's actually the moment that comes just before it. I want no world for beautiful, you are my world. And you know, it comes first from the tenors and the basses singing I want no fate, you are my fate, my sweet, you know, and then the sopranos and altos take it, and it's just this soaring line for the sopranos that really kind of takes my breath away for a moment. And then actually just after the part, it's you, whatever a sun will always sing is you, right after that it goes into just this intimate little tenor duet moment. Here is the deepest secret.
That snapshot right there, like the way that peak and then the way it comes down is an example of how this piece really very beautifully allows the listener and the performer to settle into those more intimate moments. What are some of the challenges maybe inherent in a piece like this, or what advice might you give another conductor in another choir who's tackling this piece of music?
That's actually interesting. I suppose one of the big things is managing the length of the piece. It's 7 minutes, and again with a lot of ups and downs, lots of really long phrases. So not only managing that, along with tessitura, you know, where in the range lines happen to sit for different voices, but not like, you know, not blowing it all on the first climax, so to speak, right? The first hill that we go over, pacing yourself because it's a long sing, it's a big sing, and I think it takes a lot of. Well, you can't really have any weak links, let's put it that way. One thing that I like to do when I'm composing and arranging, I like to make sure that what I'm writing is going to be interesting for every voice part. Really being aware of what the text is trying to say and how can we make this as natural to sing and as natural to hear for our audience.
This piece is published by Cypress Choral Music and is part of the Canadian Chamber Choir series for accomplished choirs. For details on how to order this music and to check out more great repertoire, be sure to visit cypresschoral.com. The CCC series is one of several great collections curated by outstanding Canadian choral conductors. That's all for now. A huge thanks, my friend Scott, the composer of this piece and fellow CCC singer, for joining me today. See you next Wednesday for more great Canadian repertoire.
Thanks for listening.